Posted by u/Klutzy at 4381. Hello everyone, my husband, 31M, and I, 24F, have been married for 4 years, together for 6, and this is the first major argument we've ever had. I am currently 33 weeks pregnant with his baby. When I was 20 weeks pregnant, my doctor diagnosed me with placenta previa, which, if you don't know, is when the placenta is covering the opening of my cervix. They told me it would likely move as my baby grew, but it never did. So, I'm scheduled for a C-section in just 3 weeks. At 20 weeks, I was put on very light restrictions, but at 30 weeks, I was placed on heavier restrictions, such as no running, no lifting or climbing, no standing for longer than 3 hours at a time, and most importantly, no bedroom intimacy. My doctor told me that we want to avoid anything that could potentially make me bleed, which could lead to preterm birth. So, I have been following these restrictions for 3 weeks, but it has been driving my husband crazy. Every single day, he bothers me for bedroom intimacy. Every single day. Each time, I remind him that I can't because of the restrictions. I don't even want to have bedroom intimacy anyway, my belly is so big, and I'm always exhausted. He doesn't really like those answers. Finally, he came to me and started talking about how doctors sometimes dramatize things for the sake of their careers and more money. He said they push for C-sections. I was like, okay, whatever, but I know that I have this condition, so obviously, I am going to follow the rules. He didn't accept that answer, and we ended up having bedroom intimacy. For a few hours afterward, I experienced really heavy bleeding, and I got so scared. I was crying in the bathroom, trying to figure out what to do. I ended up calling my doctor, and she told me to come in right away. The whole car ride there, I was sobbing, imagining that in an hour, I would be having a C-section for a baby that was only 33 weeks old. We quickly figured out that I was not in preterm labor, I was just bleeding, and as long as it stopped, I would be okay. It did stop, and I am fine. But while I was there, my doctor asked my husband to leave, and started asking me questions. She said, "This isn't accusatory, it's okay. It's just better to know if it was caused by something, or if it was random." I told her that I had bedroom intimacy with my husband. She went over all the restrictions again and then gave me a bunch of information on domestic violence. She literally put the pamphlets in my purse for me. I was so embarrassed. When we got into the car, I broke down and yelled at my husband, telling him never to do that to me again, and that my doctor knows more than he does and knows what's best for me and the baby. He apologized, and I could tell he really meant it. I've still been holding a grudge for days, and he's been groveling for days. He asked me how long I was going to make him apologize. I told him at least until the baby is born. Am I the jerk for that? Update 17.5 hours later. I wasn't originally going to make an update, because I was getting into specific details about my life, and I didn't want anyone I know in real life to find out. But I will, because, I don't know why. I guess I just got some really good comments. I posted this about 7 hours ago, and I cannot believe how many people have responded. I don't know if I could ever say thank you enough to such thoughtful strangers on the internet. So, originally, my plan was to tell my doctor and my sister-in-law, maybe my brother, though I wasn't looking forward to discussing those details with him. I rescheduled my weekly appointment with my doctor for tomorrow. I know some people said I could just walk in, but I didn't want to do that, and then have to make up some excuse to my husband. The comments made me realize the severity of the situation, and honestly, I'm terrified. So, I called my sister-in-law when she got off work, and we had a really long conversation. I mentioned in the comments that my sister-in-law and brother have never really liked my husband, especially my sister-in-law. She was very supportive and kind, and we talked for a long time. I guess I can admit now, that it wasn't just bedroom intimacy, it was great. We talked about that more than anything else. She quickly cleared up the confusion. I told her about a lot of things my mom excused because she likes my husband, and my sister-in-law was livid. I guess I always knew she would be, which is why I never told her before. She ended up telling me to talk to my doctor, and she will talk to my brother, and we will figure out what's going on. She said she will come down on the soonest flight, but my brother cannot come yet because they have children of their own. I'm content with that, and my appointment with my doctor is tomorrow. So, my husband got home earlier than usual and saw that I was upset. I was really planning on getting myself together before he came home, but I didn't have time. Still, I wasn't going to tell him anything, but he was being so kind, which he usually is. I know that's hard to believe, but it's true, and today especially, he was so kind and so worried about me. I know it was stupid to explain the situation, but I did. I don't know why. I'm just used to telling him my problems, I guess. It was a mistake, and I know that. I'm really trying not to be so naive anymore, but it's hard to switch from thinking of him as my loving and caring husband, to my husband who is hurting me. So, I told him how he hurt me, and that I was honestly scared now. He was like, "What? How?" I explained that he hurt me, by forcing me to have bedroom intimacy, by literally forcing my legs apart and telling me to calm down. He responded, "Oh my effing God, don't effing say that. That's a crime, do you understand that? Do you understand you just accused me of marital rape?" Then he pushed me away from him. I started to apologize, and he began to say it was okay, and did that thing where he acts like I'm dumb again. So, I finally said, yeah, actually, I really do understand that now. It isn't right, and it is marital rape. This resulted in a huge argument, once again. He called me an idiot for even daring to say those words. I called him an abuser, and he literally laughed. He said, "Who are you talking to? You don't know what you're talking about," and started to go on and on about things I don't know about. He insisted that having bedroom intimacy with his wife isn't rape, no matter how you look at it. I ended up trying to walk away, but he grabbed me by the wrist. I snatched my hand away, and he held up his hands, saying, "Oh, I'm sorry, that might be considered battery of a pregnant woman, if we're going by your definitions." The condescending tone is what really pushed me to the edge, and I told him I didn't want to be around him. He responded, "Fine, I'll leave." I said, "No, I want to leave. I want to be away from you." He threw the credit card at me and told me to go get a hotel then. So I did, and here I am, typing this now. My sister-in-law is on her way, but I am so far from okay. He's called me several times, but I won't answer. I've never seen him that angry before, and I'm slightly concerned about what he will do if I genuinely tell him I want to leave and take the baby. He's the one who wanted to have a child, and I was convinced. He won't let me take her easily, and that terrifies me. Every time my daughter kicks, I just want to sob. I never thought that my own baby would make me cry like this, but I am just so scared. Update 2 1 day later. This one is quick and for the people who wanted me to verify that I am okay. I genuinely don't know what to say about the amount of support I got. Thank you so very much. On August 7th, I posted my update and mentioned having Braxton Hicks for the first time. I was urged to go to the hospital. I originally wasn't going to, but thank goodness that I did, because by the time I walked in the door, I was bleeding so heavily it was down my legs. Turns out I had a placental abruption. On August 7th at 10:37 p.m., my daughter was born via emergency C-section. She is now only less than a day old as I post this, but I am being forced to deal with an attorney in all of this already. She was only 33 weeks and 5 days when she was born. She is tiny but still doing relatively well, so they tell me. She is in the NICU now, and I am in the hospital still as well. I have received lots of care, and while it is all scary and hard, seeing my daughter makes it better. I'm fine, I will be fine, and so will she. The nurses here are amazing, and the doctor told me as long as everything goes well, I get to take my daughter home in just a few weeks. As for my situation, my sister-in-law came shortly after my daughter was born, and she's been by my side all day, being very supportive. The attorney advised us to allow my husband visitation with our daughter while she is still in the NICU, so I did. I do not have any concerns about him hurting our daughter while she's in the hospital. I have received lots of supportive messages from his co-workers and his side of the family, so I am sure he is spinning the story that we are together and everything is fine. He is trying to act like that too. He's seen our daughter several times today, and I think he was in the hospital with me during the C-section, but I'm honestly not sure. He came up to my room this morning while the nurses were helping me take that first walk after the C-section. I was just emotional enough to let him in. I have to be honest and say it wasn't easy to try and hate him after all of this. I still let him comfort me, and I still cry to him. But at the end, when he said, "You wouldn't have had to do this alone if you weren't acting that way," and grabbed my face to make me kiss him, it reminded me exactly why I am doing this. So yeah, I'm not sure what I'm going to do. Originally, I really wanted to have my daughter in my home state, so that I could stay there with her, my sister-in-law, and my brother, but I highly doubt my husband will allow me to take her there. My attorney says I have options, and the options are heavily in my favor, as I did what you all suggested, and got the medical records of the grapes, including the one I posted about, and 2 more I went to the hospital for over the years, as well as a written statement from my doctor, saying that my placental abruption was likely caused by trauma and stress, for custody and things like that, but likely only here where we currently live. Honestly, that's okay. Being able to briefly hold my baby, seeing her, and loving her so much has replaced everything else in my mind. I want to be safe, but most of all, I want her to be safe. I won't do anything to put her in the situation I was in. She is only 16 hours old, and she is all I think about and will ever think about for the rest of my life. I probably won't update again, as I'm hoping they will let me spend more time with my daughter soon, but I just wanted to say that this whole post has literally changed my life, and I cannot say thank you enough. If anyone else finds themselves in this sort of situation, I want to say do not be scared to speak up. And if anyone has survived it, you are so brave. Thank you everybody. Commenter. Remember that you're only in this position, getting an emergency C-section and watching your child fight for survival in the NICU, because he raped you despite knowing there was a high chance it would harm you and your unborn child. His primary concern was satisfying his own desires, with no regard for your well-being or that of your baby. He doesn't care about you or your child, you are merely possessions to him, to be used as he pleases. Do not let this man anywhere near you. Op's response. I know this very well. Every time I see her or think about her, that's what I think about. During the C-section, they didn't let me see her, they just took her away so fast. In my head, all I could think was, she's not going to make it, and it's his fault entirely. Trust me when I say I am not going back.